Rap Delites. Rap Delites.
Welcome back to the Rap Delites podcast. I am Batch, that is TSK1, that is Chrissy Mac. We're going to give a birthday shout out to Big Boy from Outkast. Birthday shout out to Cameron from Dipset. And also a birthday shout out to J Dilla, who is the artist of the week. You like J Dilla, TSK1?
I love Dilla. I love Dilla.
Shout out to all of them brothers. So we're gonna get into some Dilla. We're gonna shoot. Let me pull up some real quick stuff, real quick. Artist of the week, J
See
Dilla.
what you got. Can we let it play, or we still gotta let it play 10 seconds?
Yeah, you gotta play like because we don't own it.
A little snippet, here and there.
A little snippet here and there. You know what I mean? We can play a little bit, but J Dilla is the record producer, rapper who emerged in the mid-'90s from Detroit, Michigan hip-hop scene. Is 1/3 of the acclaimed music group Slum Village. Dilla was one of the musical industry's most influential hip-hop artists, and working with notable acts such as Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Busta Rhymes, Erykah Badu, The Roots, Pharcyde, Madlib, Common. Yeah, you know what I mean? He was also a founding member of the collective known as the Soulquarians, along with Questlove, the Ummah and the Soulquarians. With James Poyser, D'Angelo, Questlove, Q-Tip, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, TSK1, J Dilla.
Put the track "Fall in Love" by Slum. There's that like it was Perp that put me onto that. Perp and Fats. I mean, around that time we was running a lot. We still all down the way. And man, when I heard this track, man, I was like, yo, what? I was like, what the fuck is that? This track still sticks me.
Yeah, I
this
remember
this ballad status to me, just in terms of the energy and the strength that this track brings, man. Dilla to me was like, it was like always these like R&B tracks or just tracks, period, whatever. That was just untouchable tracks that you just shouldn't touch.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, Dilla shattered that theology or that thinking, because he touched tracks that these obvious, songs or whatever, and he just did the thing to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because he took from what Pete Rock and Pete Rock Tip and Premier, their mastery of the chop. Dilla began there and took it further.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we know those are masters in chop and shit.
Yeah.
But what Dilla did, man, is just it's special. You know what I mean? I like it, and B9 taught me this. He taught me this in regards to donuts, and is just chasing down those original samples that that everything, those beats that went into Dilla's Donuts, which was the last project that he did, the famed project his last famed project that he did pretty much on his deathbed.
Yeah. Let me run down some of his discography. Can I do that real quick?
Please.
2001, Welcome to Detroit. 2003, Champion Sound with Madlib and J-Lib. 2006, Donuts. 2006, also The Shining. 2007, J Love Japan. 2009, J Stay Paid. And 2016, The Diary. He has a bunch of other production credits and singles and remixes, and I mean, his discography is fucking bananas. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even be able to give it justice on a segment on this show. You know what I mean? To give his whole discography a fucking fair shake on there, but
His mother is affectionately known as Ma Dukes, and Miss Yancey, she has a website, and basically administering and overseeing his work and selling everything, everything. You know what I mean?
Chrissy Mac, J Dilla.
J Dilla, an iconic producer. You can't say hip hop without J Dilla, in my opinion. And he's from Detroit. You already know.
You already know you in Detroit.
That sound is my shit. I mean, his catalog is so extensive and amazing. And I loved Slum Village. They were one of my favorite groups. His production in Slum Village. And my favorite De La Soul song is Stakes is High. He produced that as well. My favorite producer from Detroit is Black Milk, which was his protege. And he's like Dilla, but he took it his own way. I mean, Black Milk producer fans, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Ain't too much to say.
It's just
Yeah, the loss for words.
I am. I met my Dukes at a Slum Village show.
Okay.
Because of course, I was at the Slum Village show. It's just rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace.
Like going too early, man. And same to the other members of Slum Village that passed as well too, man.
I actually didn't get into the Dilla stuff till like later on.
Same here.
I was like, but for different reasons. I was like just boycotting all kinds of. I was on some other shit. And I just wasn't fucking with any of the underground shit at all. I just wasn't. It wasn't registering me at the time. The thing that got me into him is the stuff he started doing with the R&B stuff. You know what I mean? And that's then I like subsequently backtracked from the R&B stuff, from the stuff he was doing with the Ummah and stuff we was doing, and I like backtracked to his original stuff right there. And it's a funny story about him. Remember Marvin I used to work with down at the bank? Yeah. Marvin, shout out to Marvin if you ever get a chance to watch any of this shit. He was a fucking loon. He was, yo, Guido, you remember Marvin? I used to work with down at the bank. Yeah, big tall motherfucker. He's a fucking loon. He was last time I saw him, he was a cop. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, they gave your dumbass a badge. He said, can you believe that? But Marvin cousin, the very first time I heard like the hip hop stuff that Dilla was doing was this song right here, Pause. And Marvin was playing it in his car because Frank and Dank is Marvin's cousins. And he was like, yo, this is my cousin's shit right here. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? He kept playing this shit. Like, this is the only song he kept playing. And he kept quoting it and shit like that. But that was like, I didn't know who it was. Right. You know what I mean? He was just playing. I thought it was some random motherfuckers. You know, people put out records all the time. You know, I just saw some dudes that he knew. And you're like, this is my cousin's with her. Not J Dilla's not his cousin, Frank is his cousin. Not Dank, but yeah.
I've mentioned on previous podcasts that my first introduction, I'm just being around Purban. I didn't know Slum Village was Dilla. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Then fast forward to that, my first, was Adult Swim. Because Adult Swim features, a lot of producers' beats when they do their bumper music when they're going back.
Schoolie D is on there, ain't
he? Well, that's a show.
That's the show, yeah.
This is in between shows, going out of segments into like commercial breaks.
Okay.
Then B9 put the vinyl of Donuts in my hand. He said, "You need this," and when Black does that, I don't fuck around. I'm out and I go get it, and just spending time with it intimately. And I was like, fucking Adult Swim. These are all my favorite shows.
I love it when that happens. You know what I mean? When you hear something, you like, yeah, that's my shit right there.
And I took it personal to a degree that was just more than just really, it was like wow.
That's what I did when I heard that Pause song. When I heard it on the actual Dilla album, I'm like, oh, that's the shit Marvin was playing. Like I said, I got back with it later. So I was like, that was the joint Marvin. By then Marvin was going and he was doing whatever he was doing, whatever the kid. So I didn't have a chance to damn, I didn't even know what you was playing. you would put me on to some shit. You know what I mean? But that's dope, man. So want to give a shout out to J Dilla, Artist of the Week.
And it's one of the things I like. You know, what B9 taught me is to chase down those original samples, and I love listening to those originals when you can find one of those. I like those original tracks that Dilla used. I love like just really like compiling them and really getting into his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, J Dilla. Let's give her. For J Dilla, Artist of the Week for the Rap Delites podcast.